My family tells me that growing up, I loved Halloween and scary things. I had morbid curiosities from a young age, and they've shaped many of my interests that I have today. Morbid curiosities are interests and fascinations with dark or unpleasant concepts. Because of my own morbid curiosities, I would make up elaborate stories of mummies being in my closet, and I was convinced that this was true. Now, you all may be wondering why I thought that the biggest threat to my life was mummies, and this is because of my favorite show at the time, Scooby-Doo. I loved Scooby-Doo, so much so that one year I dressed up as Daphne and made my dad dress up as Shaggy for Halloween. In the episode of Scooby-Doo where the gang is trying to solve the mystery of a missing mummy is where I was first introduced to mummies. And since then, I thought that they would be an everyday issue that I would face. Now, while I was very scared of Scooby-Doo, my morbid curiosities made me feel drawn to it. Similar to how Shaggy and Scooby are always terrified while solving mysteries, but in each episode, they continue to do so anyways. I loved Scooby-Doo mainly because there was always a mystery being solved, and it was scary enough to make me excited, but not scary enough to keep me up at night, except for the whole mummy situation. My morbid curiosities, though, didn't stop there. This is my mom. When I was 10, my mom and I became interested in true crime shows like Dateline, and we bonded over this shared interest in true crime for many years. I remember sitting on the couch with my mom, watching a 60 Minutes episode on the Madeleine McCann case, which, if you all do not know, is the case of a young girl who goes missing while on vacation with her family. While watching this, I began to cry because I felt so much empathy for her and for her family and wanted so badly for them to be able to find their daughter. Now, my interest in true crime has grown in part because of empathy, but mainly because of my morbid curiosities and my crave for a resolution at the end of these stories. Today, one of my favorite things to do is listen to true crime podcasts and follow true crime stories. Millions of people around the world have shared my same morbid curiosities, and today the true crime industry has grown to be worth $15 billion per year. Millions of people indulge in different true crime media forms such as podcasts, books, and movies, and a study from Edison Research even shows that 84% of the US population over the age of 13 years old are true crime consumers of some form. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of popular cases such as the Menendez brothers and Jack the Ripper, and these are just two of the cases that have enthralled the public for many years. Many true crime fans even attempt to solve these cases using the resources that they have available to them. And this is what I would like you all to do today, because a crime has occurred on Episcopal's campus. Rainier has gone missing, and we need y'all's help to find him. Here's what happened. Last night, the thesis class was in Dr. Hanks's room, celebrating before lunch, when we heard a loud noise coming from outside. This was strange as we were the only class on campus at the time. We looked around to see who it could have been and found that 4 people were missing. Savannah, Allie, Fairfax, and Rainier. Me being the curious person that I am, I asked around to see where these people could have gone. Here's what I found. Savannah had gone to the restroom, Fairfax had stepped outside to take a phone call, and Allie had gone to the cafeteria to grab more cake. But where was Rainier? At first, this didn't seem all too shocking, as oftentimes Rainier does leave class unannounced and doesn't tell anyone where he's going. After a while, though, when all the girls had returned and there was still no sign of Rainier, I began to worry. Rainier did eventually return, but I couldn't help but notice that something was a little bit off about him. This is why I think that last night has everything to do with why Rainier is missing today. I need y'all's help to solve these 3 things. Who kidnapped Rainier? What was their motive? And where's Rainier now? Your head detective will lead you on an investigation to see if you can solve these questions. You will be given further instructions. Thank you. I hope you all had fun on y'all's investigation. Here's what happened. Allie kidnapped Rainier out of revenge, and he was in the academic commons. So, congratulations. Many of you have solved the case, and you've helped us find Rainier. Thank you, Rainier. We couldn't have done it without y'all's help. True crime fans can be a crucial part in helping us solve cases circulating throughout the media, and y'all were a crucial part in helping us solve this case today. We can lean into curiosities that we have for morbid concepts in a way that is respectful, helpful, and ultimately that helps us serve justice. Many ways that media forms do this is by sharing how we can contact authorities if we want to help and don't know where to start. My favorite true crime podcast is, and has been for years, Crime Junkie, hosted by Ashley Flowers. At the end of Unsolved Cases, Crime Junkie shares information on the victim and how we can contact them if we know anything about the case. If this is our driving factor in investing time and energy into these stories, this is a way that we can use true crime as a force for good. With all the talk of true crime and what's driven my initial curiosity about it, let's just talk about curiosity. Each one of us has things that we're curious about, thoughts that drive our actions, and things that we invest our time into. Our passions and interests, whether they be sports, true crime, or anything else, are powerful instruments that can shape not only our lives, but the world around us. Each day, whether we know it or not, we are solving little mysteries in our everyday lives. Being curious and asking questions is an essential part of life, because this is how we learn and make changes throughout the world. By channeling our curiosity and drive into influential action, this is another way that we can make changes and inspire those around us to do the same. So I encourage you all today to stay curious, stay driven, and continue to be a force for good. Thank you.